would you do if you run completely out of cash? What would you do if you wanna cut a dash? Polish up the shoes, throw on something fine. We don't talk about diesels, I'm running on style this time. Cruising down the boulevard, wheels gleam in the night. Beige leather interior, looking chic alright. Money's a little tight, but I'm feeling brand new. Living large tonight, no budget reviews. Blues! What do you mean I'm not getting paid for this?
Well, viewers, it's been a very long time since I've driven a Mark V Golf. Years and years ago, when I was young and foolish, I actually drove two in the same video, but we can't talk about those, so we'll talk about this instead. This is a 2007 Golf Mark V 1.6 FSI match. Match specification was kind of like a run-out model. Very often with Volkswagen, they produce these match models that have a bit more equipment than the equivalent, I don't know, in this case, maybe like an S specification car would have. This has got the 1.6 FSI engine in it, which actually I've just had a look, and it's only the early ones of these that you can't use E10 in. This was a 2007 car, I'd say that's absolutely fine. It's not maybe in the best cosmetic condition, but yeah, it looks sort of okay. Headlamps probably do the buff. This car does need a sort of thorough valet before it goes onto its new owner. It just is requiring a bit of preparation. So these were made from 2003, although sales in this country started in 2004, till 2008 when the Mark VI came into production, which is like a sort of really heavy facelift of one of these, really, because it wasn't really a facelift for the Mark V itself, although there were some changes throughout the model's life. Let's take a look actually in the boot first of all. This one's got parking sensors, they do work. Thank you to Lee at LSB Car Sales again for letting me have a go in this. I'll have to move that plate slightly when I go out for a drive. So quite a big boot. I think this is over 350 litres, so much bigger than a number of other cars in the class. Got a ski hatch in here as well. Lift that up. We've still got a spare wheel and all the tools in here. That's good. Unlike quite a lot of Mark V Golfs, this one's completely rust-free, which is excellent. It's a shame that these cars, although quite a few elements of them are quite good, they just beset with little quality problems, which we'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, very much like an evolution of the Mark IV, and then again with the 6 is an evolution of this. So very sort of pleasant but conservative styling. Quite big in the back. Obviously this interior needs a bit of a clean in here, but it's okay at the moment. Very easy to get in and out. Headlining in this has actually been removed because it's drooping, which is, you know, a shame, but there we go. This is no budget reviews after all, so we're not expecting the best condition cars, are we? Strangely, this door handle's not worn too badly. You need a little bit on here at the top, but these do wear out, and also some of the interior bits do drop off, like here. But there we go. I think Lee only wants about £1,500 for this car or something. So let's use the ski hatch because we're here. Quite nicely trimmed actually for the era of car. It's one of the great advantages of this Golf in terms of the interior quality. It's very, very good. So squeeze it out of the way. Can we get this down? Oh, gosh, it's a bit stiff, but yes, we can. There we go. Let's put that back. Yes, so plenty of room in here. Headroom is really good, even with the headlining, taking into consideration. But actually, yeah, it feels very modern. The only thing is, a lot of cars now look like this inside, and it just feels a little bit on the bland side. It's fine, there's nothing wrong with the quality or anything. It just is not the most exciting interior design, but the Golf customer, typically over the years, doesn't really necessarily need an exciting design, but just needs to feel it's nice quality, which it does. Of course it does. Right, let's get in the front, shall we? So again, the materials do feel nice. The seat is not completely worn out, which is good because this car's done 112,000 miles. Got the familiar looking Volkswagen Group mirror switch and window switches on here. Everything's very, very, very well laid out. I mean, it does need a clean in here. But there we go, really, really clear instruments. Steering wheel, not really worn at all, it feels good. 6-speed manual in this car. Idiot-proof controls for the heating and ventilation. Very, very simple MP3 compatible stereo. That was an MP3 CD. I don't think there's an MP3 jack in here anyway. I can't see one. But yeah, nice quality dash. Let's see if my secret mission documents go in the glove box, viewers. They should do. Yeah, no problem. Oh, I spoke too soon. There is a problem. The thing is, I think the handbook sits just here, which is nice. It's a good place for it, but then you can't put the secret mission documents in, so never mind, I'll have to live in there. Both the rear doors and the front doors have very, very large door bins. The only reason why that one's not as big is because actually the petrol flap release is in there, which is unusual. Automatic lights on this car. I don't think we've got automatic wipers, but there's not really a lot else to say. It's a Volkswagen Golf, you know. It's sort of kind of have a very similar feel. Most of the generations are anyway. That actually feels quite nice. There we go. That's where the 12-volt socket is down there. Lots of blanking plates because we're got a special edition car, but we're still quite low down the range. And everything just feels quite logically laid up. The steering adjusts nicely for rake and reach. The seat is comfortable, but there's probably just not an awful lot to say, which is fine. You know, a lot of people who bought these just you know, as they do today, because Volkswagen's a really big seller in this country. They're the top-selling brand of all at the moment. They just buy them, and it's a car that really doesn't require a lot of familiarisation, not a lot of fuss, really. I just, personally, I'm more like a Mazda 3 sort of person, really. I prefer one of those to one of these. But yeah, there's nothing really wrong with one of those. And we'll go over the common trouble areas in a little while. But yeah, so far so good. We have the most enormous pedal for the accelerator I've ever seen. Isn't that huge? Right, I suppose we can look down here as well before we do that. For some reason, those are the cup holders. I'm not sure how good they are particularly. You can close them off if you don't want them like that. And then there's an armrest here with a port for a really, really old mobile phone in there. I don't even know what that is. Lots of lucky wheel nut keys for some reason. Normal handbrake, that's good. Yeah, nice and comfortable. Just nothing out of the ordinary, really, I wouldn't have thought. Even in 2007. This feels like an evolution from the Mark IV Golf that we had on the channel. I think at the beginning of this year we had that, or late last year. Yeah, let's have a look at the engine, shall we? I'll be slightly careful. I think that strut's a little bit weak, so it's okay. It's got a gas strut, which is great. Standard Volkswagen Group coolant reservoir. It's been around since the dawn of time in here. 1.6 FSI, engine generating 113 horsepower. Big plastic cover on there, which is a shame, but there we go. Battery lives just there, as you can see. You can also see the difference between how does it look like originally and what it look like now. It's very common on so many cars. Astra H's are the same. They've got a similar lifespan to the Mark V Golf. If you're going cloudy, obviously there's things you can do about it. Yeah, not much else to say, really. The only thing is, with these FSI engines, there was a 1.4, a 1.6 and 2 FSI engines and some other engines as well, but you cannot use E10 in the early versions of this. So if your Golf you're looking at is before the end of 2004, I would probably just use E5. All the other petrol engines, not a problem, you can use E10. I don't know why. It's really strange. I don't quite understand that, but there we go. I've actually just checked the compatibility system just to see what it is. Yeah, peculiar, isn't it? Right, let's go for a drive, viewers. So what's this Mark 5 Golf like to drive? Well, unsurprisingly, it's a very nice driving experience in this car. I remember that from when I drove one 2 years ago that we can't talk about. Basic engine of one of these was a 73 brake horsepower 1.4 that has been used in a lot of Volkswagen cars at the dawn of time. In 2006 that was upgraded to 78 horsepower. Above that there was a 1.4 FSI engine that generated 88 horsepower. Now I think that one was actually not available in all markets. Some markets got an older 1.6 101 horsepower that was used in cars like the Mark 1 Skoda Octavia. This 1.6 FSI engine developed 113 horsepower. Above that we have some 1.4 turbocharged engines. One generating 138 horsepower and one generating 167 horsepower, which is the one that's a bit problematic actually. Was used in the Mark II Skoda Fabia VRS in particular, so notorious for issues with that engine. In 2007, a 120 horsepower version of that engine was introduced for the final year of production. That engine was in the Mark 6 Golf I drove in 2021, I think it was, a long time ago now. Then you can get a 2 litre FSI engine, 147 horsepower, then 2 turbo versions of that engine with 197 or 227 horsepower in the GTI and GTI 30th anniversary. Then right at the top you could get the crazy 3.2 VR6 R32 model with 247 horsepower. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. What we do talk about is the very pleasant way this car drives. The ride and handling are actually really good. Gearbox, despite the fact this car's at 112,000 miles, is quite positive. It's a nice 6-speed unit. It sort of turned into the corners nicely. Engine sounds okay, it's nothing extraordinary really. And yeah, generally it's a nice friendly experience. It's probably one of the best things about this car. But was probably if you set somebody in it and invite them to go for a test drive, they'd be quite happy with it. Obviously with the issues that these cars have that we'll talk about a little bit later, that might put someone off, but actually the driving experience is not something that will. And just putting through these corners, it feels great. 0 to 60 with this car's about 10.5 seconds, which is probably fine for the majority of Golf buyers. Yeah, it actually feels really good. The clutch is nice and smooth. You've got the dual mass flywheel, although sometimes those do cause a few problems. Yeah, so it's a nice pleasant car to drive. It's very comfortable. You can adjust the seat in loads of different positions. You can see why this would have appealed to a really wide range of people back in the day. It's just a shame that these days they're not necessarily considered the best cars because of all these sort of issues that were done by trying to make the car more refined and a bit more advanced. But yeah, I think it's actually a pretty nice car to drive. Let's look now at some Mark 5 Golf trim levels viewers. So most common ones would be the S, SE and the Sport. There's also a match special edition towards the end like this car. Then the GT, the GT Sport, the GTI and the GTI Edition 30. The GTI Edition 30 had a bit more power than the standard GTI. And then the crazy R32. In March 2008, these cars got a better infotainment system. This is still quite basic in here, but it's fine. The main issues to watch out for on this car, I did look these up, are rust on the bodywork, particularly the front wings, the rear arches, and the sills. This car is absolutely fine, by the way. Dual mass flywheel failure. Problem is with these cars, if you need a new clutch, and the clutches are nice and smooth in these generally, they're the same clutches on my old B5.5 Passat. It's often more than the car to get the clutch and flywheel changed. I think when I thought I needed a new clutch in the past, which I didn't actually in the end, it was £1,250, which is more than I paid for the car. So, yeah, that's a bit of an issue. The 1.4 TSI and the FSI engines have a timing chain. So obviously there's cam belts, but they have a timing chain. On the 1.4 TSI, the 167 brake horsepower version, that is notoriously bad for timing chain failure. I think it's for twin charger engine. I would be very careful about one of those. The rear springs and dampers can fail. Rubber coating on door handles falls off. Actually, this car's not too bad. The driver's door handle is perfect. The heating ventilation can fail. DSG gearboxes, like on certain generations of Volkswagens, can be a bit of a problem area. The door seals can leak, and window runners can come off, and the wire looms of the doors can fail. These ones seem fine to me. So viewers, should you consider a Mark V Volkswagen Golf for your hard-earned budget up to £1,000? Well, this car is worth a little bit more than that. It's quite a late one, but you're probably going to get one with higher mileage or an earlier one in similar condition to this. I mean, they're okay, but I don't particularly exciting. Apart from the driving experience, which I think is pretty good for one of these cars, and the interior does feel quite nice quality. I just think I'd probably go for something that doesn't have so many problems personally. That's just my opinion, but you know, some people really like these. But GTI is a bit of a different sort of story altogether. Those are tend to be owned by enthusiasts to be very good. But anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for some more inexpensive motoring.